And we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching and listening to North Georgia's only live online morning show. I just sent you two pictures. Give me a thumbs up when you have both of them ready. I got two thumbs up. Okay, so anyhow, I'm your host, BKP. If you'd like to text me, if you'd like to send a message to the show, 706-889-9700. That is the also that's our news line, 24/7. You can get that news line. Let us know what's going on in North Georgia, and you can email us chief@fetchernews.com. chief@fetchernews.com. Follow us on Twitter at FYNTV @FetcherNews. Now, that being said, it's Tuesday. I got to remember that. I'm working through, folks. I'm working through trying to maintain my boycott of the NFL, but yet attend a Super Bowl party with great friends and good food and maybe a couple good cigars. Okay. You know, let me tell you this little story. Okay. Now, there's a friend of mine. His dad was a general. Okay. This guy's dad was a general, and his dad smoked cigars. Now, don't try this at home, kids. I'm not advocating any smoking or anything. Okay, but his dad smoked cigars, and when my friend's dad died, he inherited an enormous amount of the general's cigars. Okay, I just want to say this. So there's a lot of people that give me cigars, and I appreciate that. By the way, P.O. Box 405 LJ 30540 if you would like to send your host here a fine cigar. Okay, again, one more time, you can send those fine cigars to P.O. Box 405 LJ 30540 to your host. Anyhow, and I have some people that give me very expensive cigars, very good cigars. I mean, I appreciate it so much. Thank you out there. A lot of people know that I enjoy a cigar. But when this one friend of mine gives me a cigar, you know, I've got to put them in the humidor, and I got to let them sit there for a little bit and get them all to where, you know, they're ready for a good afternoon and a book. But every time I smoke one of those cigars, I sit there and I think, wow, the general gave me a cigar. I mean, I'm sorry, folks, and that sounds silly, but I sit there and I say, the general gave me a cigar. The general used to sit and smoke these cigars. So I'm sorry, folks. I love that. I just love that so much. I had to tell that story because that led me into how am I supposed to maintain my boycott for the NFL and go to this Super Bowl party. I mean, because, you know, everything about the NFL, everything has taken it downhill. I mean, don't you remember the good old days like when the Budweiser lizards came out and they were all sitting on lily pads and one said Budweiser? I mean, you remember when the Clydesdales played football, right? And the guy said, you know, the guy kicks the ball and the Clydesdale kicks like a 60-yard field goal and the two ranchers are leaning on the post, and he said, man, that was a great kick. And he said he usually goes for two. I mean, there are I have not, in I must say 2 years at least, I do not remember a commercial from last year. Do not remember a Super Bowl commercial. I mean, the NFL has the commercials, I just don't remember them. I mean, every every year a business worked to get that memorable NFL commercial that kept playing weeks afterwards because you loved that commercial. So I can't go to the game for the commercials, but I could. Maybe they'll be decent this year, okay? Maybe the prices come down and actually a company can afford to make a commercial. So the commercials are not great, but I could go for the commercials. There'll be jambalaya, there'll be food, good food, and everybody's bringing something. I mean, I'm in this email chain, and the desserts are coming in, and the appetizers are coming in. I'm like, all right, anyhow, so I've got to figure out how to handle that. Now, here, this story is going untouched around the world as we know it, okay? And this is going untouched, so just stay with me here. Chief Wahoo. You got the picture of the chief? I just had Chief, folks. I mean, Chief Wahoo, the Cleveland Indians. I mean, you want to talk about an attack? Political correctness kills Chief Wahoo. Political correctness has officially killed Chief Wahoo. The Cleveland Indians logo that's been in official use since 1947 will be gone after the 2018 season, it was reported Monday. Cleveland Indians tweeted out, "We've announced changes to our uniforms for 2019. The caricature of the Native American, which is beloved by Cleveland fans far and wide, has been under attack for years by Native American groups for being racist." Really? Major League Baseball Commissioner Rod Manfred also objected to the logo's use and had been pressuring team owner Paul Dolan to change it. Dolan, for his part, said it was the hardest decision his family had to make during their ownership of the team, which began in the 1999 season. There are people who have a strong emotional tie to Chief Wahoo and see it as a positive symbol for our community, said Dolan, reporters to the Cleveland.com. They don't see it as anything negative towards Native Americans. It's about Cleveland and the Indians and what all that means to us. He continued, "We also want to respond to people who we think have legitimate considerations that the logo is no longer appropriate. Not only are we abandoning keeping the name Indians," Dolan insisted, however, the team name will stay the same. Not only are we adamant, not abandoned, adamant. Not only are we adamant about keeping the name Indians, but the Commissioner, Rob Manfred, is simply supportive of the name, said Dolan. Yes, some people will continue to make noise, but Chief Wahoo is gone. Cleveland Indians Chief Wahoo will be a thing of the past in 2019. Now, my question is we tried to get in touch with Ricky Vaughn, okay? Now, we tried to get Ricky on the line, and we couldn't get Ricky on the line, right? Now, are they going to have to edit out Chief Wahoo? That's Ricky Vaughn. We all know Major League, right? I love it in the booth. You know, the kid throws a fastball pitch. Give him the heater, Ricky. So that's Ricky Vaughn right there. Major League couldn't get in touch with Ricky for a comment. So Chief Wahoo is going. I had to do that story. That angers me so bad. It's just so bad. Okay. State of the Union address tonight. As I have said I really wish that there was an understanding. I think today, I really wish maybe sixth grade classes, every sixth grade class in the United States. I really wish. Now, maybe I'm asking for a loyalty pledge to our country. Maybe I've gone a little too far here. Maybe I'm asking for a loyalty pledge. Maybe I'm saying, don't take a knee today. Actually be patriotic, be an American. And I think every teacher today will start from the third grade. There's nothing wrong for the third grade, all right? From the third grade up, should do a brief statement on what the State of the Union address is and what the union actually is in the branches of government. We find out Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice Ginsburg, will not be in attendance tonight. She has scheduling conflicts. Now, she's a Supreme Court Justice for life. She sleeps through her days. She thinks the black robe they issued her is a nightgown so she can take a nap, all right? But what happens tonight is you have the House of Representatives, okay? House of Representatives, your representation, okay? And representatives are district by population. I think it's 93,000. I'm going to go with that. But population it determines how many representatives you have in a state. Okay, for those college students, I think, Amanda, you found the article yesterday on the college students that were actually asked what they thought of the State of the Union address, and the president hadn't even given the State of the Union. Didn't you find that article yesterday? You told me about it?
Yeah, we found it yesterday.
So for those kids that think the State of the Union has already taken place, we'll give you a real quick. House of Representatives is actually based on population, so not every state has an equal number. Then you have your Senate. And we decided, our founding fathers decided, that every state, no matter how big or how small, Rhode Island included, all right, 2 senators. So every state has 2 senators. That is the other body, the Senate, the House of Representatives. That makes up Congress, okay? Then you have the executive branch. I know you're tired of me telling you this, but I just love it, the executive branch. And that's what will be represented. Then they will bring in the judicial branch of our government. We have 3 tiers. We have Congress, executive, and judicial. Then they will walk in. The Supreme Court will walk in a line, and they will take a seat in the front. And they're not supposed to make any facial expressions or any kind of expressions. They're not so really supposed to stand and cheer at any time. They may stand with the entire Congress. It happens usually right at the beginning of the State of the Union address. The speaker will say, Mr. President, the President of the United States, and he goes to the podium and everybody stands. They should, okay? Out of respect for the Union and the office, okay? So that happens tonight. So I told you yesterday, we did the yesterday, and I'm waiting to see. We have reports of the ladies that will be dressed in black that will be representing the Me Too, hashtag Me Too. I wonder if Russian bots did hashtag Me Too. I wonder if Russian bots did hashtag Me Too and set up Roy Moore. I wonder if. Because, I've often wondered, where are they now, right? Where are all the Roy Moore? I would think it's important, okay, to support women's rights, to follow up on those ladies that were just, Roy Moore took advantage of this 14-year-old girl. I mean, where are they now? I think Russian bots did that, right? So Me Too, hashtag Me Too. We have the ladies that are going to be in black representing the hashtag Me. Then we have, what, a dozen lawmakers? I can't respect this man. Well, God, I don't respect what he's done, the office of the President of the United States, in the hands of a man like Donald Trump. I have absolutely no respect whatsoever for him, okay? So they're not going to be in attendance. There's a dozen. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not going to be in attendance. We're going to see how many times the Democrats stand and cheer. But here's the one thing, the two things on the State of the Union. We'll talk a little bit about it, and I want to go to another story in a minute. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But on the State of the Union, I've asked you to watch for two things tonight. Who has a Joe Wilson moment? There will be something happen tonight. Something will happen tonight. Remember when Joe Wilson yelled at Obama, "You lied"? Okay? They have been waiting for their opportunity. Okay? Waiting. You have to understand. Sometimes you just don't listen. This is my. I mean, I'm not 100%. I don't have details. I don't have insider information. They don't call me. They don't invite me to their parties. Okay? But, you know, I'm not saying I'm a betting man, and I don't want you to try this at home. But if I had a 20 I didn't have nothing to do with, you know, I might put a sawbuck on Captain Nemo in the third race and say, hey, you realize this is their first chance. You see, Obama was up there, perched up there for 8 years. You don't remember a State of the Union address without Barack Obama. Now, I do know Donald Trump did address Congress. That's what it was. He addressed Congress. This is State of the Union. Obama did this every year. Joe Wilson said, "You lie." Remember? You remember when Samuel Alito? You remember when Justice Samuel Alito got scolded by Obama? You remember when Obama looked down at the Supreme Court and just blasted him? Remember that? This is their first chance. And they're thinking now, should we pull the play now? First chance. So my money is on the Joe Wilson, "you lie" moment tonight. There's a moment happening. I don't know who does it, okay? Because it can't be Federico. You know, Federico wears those funny hats because she's not going to go. So that happens tonight. But here's the thing I really want you to watch for. The Charlie Dents. Watch for the Charlie Dents. That would be the poser as a Republican. A congressman from Pennsylvania that has announced his retirement so he can officially try to give the seat to a Democrat and not change to Democrat. But watch a Charlie Dent moment, because I want you to watch for how many comments the President of the United States makes, okay, that a group of Republicans stay seated and they don't stand. Watch and see, because what we will have tomorrow morning, I love rolling the dice, is we will have a Republican Party divided, but according to CNN, according to MSNBC, according to all of the fake news media, we will have a Republican Party divided. They will zero in on 3 or 4 Republicans that do not stand up. I'm your host, BKP. Let's take a break. We're going to come right back after these messages. We got a lot more to do this morning. It's Tuesday, January 30th.